huge franchise that I've always enjoyed so much. So seeing that world and Dead by Daylight kind of come together, how RPD looked, the characters brought in, the cosmetics, even for like a Blight, Rebecca Chambers, Ada, Leon, the puppy dog, and most importantly, Wesker, dude, which was absolutely awesome as well. Dude, Nemesis, Wesker, incredible. Ouroboros.
Bonjour, bienvenue dans Live Anniversaire des 8 ans de Dead by Daylight. Je suis Sopalin, un Fog Whisperer français. L'un de mes moments préférés sur les lives d'anniversaire de DBD, ça a été pour les 4 ans, parce qu'il y avait le reveal de Silent Hill. C'était tellement génialissime. Le 4 ans correspond aux pyramides de Pyramid Head. C'est tellement logique. Pendant ce live anniversaire, il y avait aussi les couronnes d'anniversaire, qui ressemblaient étroitement au skin Legacy. C'était tellement bien.
Qual foi sua revelação favorita numa transmissão anterior de aniversário? Cara, essa pergunta é muito fácil de responder. Foi o Nemesis. Quando o Nemesis chegou, só faltou eu quebrar a casa inteira. Eu saí pulando, eu saí gritando, quebrei até meu ventilador, mano. Então, com certeza, foi o Nemesis.
Hello everybody, it's Polyester here. My favorite reveal from past anniversary streams would have to be the Silent Hill chapter, because I think that one surprised almost everyone.
I think my favorite reveal for a DVD anniversary was DBD's 5th year anniversary, because that's when Resident Evil came to Dead by Daylight, and I remember everyone being so excited for it. I know I was. It was also around that time I became a Fog Whisperer as well, so I think year 5 was my favorite year.
It's always exciting to see your favorite franchise be announced as a new chapter, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited to see what other horror icons we might see in the future. Question 2. What are you looking forward to, or what do you think will be revealed in the Dead by Daylight 8th anniversary stream?
What I'm looking forward to, and what I hope will be revealed in the 8th anniversary stream, or this stream, I think is... I don't know, dude, can we please get it? Or, you know, a lot of people have been mentioning Five Nights at Freddy's, but mainly it. Or Headless Horseman. Bring it home. Bring Headless Horseman in. Everyone's making fun of me in the comments, aren't they? I can tell.
Ce que j'attends le plus pour ce live anniversaire des 8 ans de Dead by Daylight, je dirais comme la plupart des gens, Stranger Things, avec l'arrivée pourquoi pas d'un nouveau chapitre, et notamment en killer de Vecna. Oh, ce serait tellement génialissime. Mais on connaît aussi l'amour indéfectible entre Behavior et Resident Evil. Donc pourquoi pas un nouveau chapitre Resident Evil aussi. Il y a encore tellement de chapitres qui peuvent être incroyables et exceptionnels, et pourtant, ça fait déjà 8 ans que DBD nous fournit des chapitres plus exceptionnels les uns que les autres.
O que você espera ansiosamente ou o que você acha que vamos revelar na live do 8º aniversário do Dead by Daylight? Essa foi a pergunta que a Behavior me fez. Cara, tudo que eu espero é que seja um killer com um poder divertido e forte de se usar, mano. O que importa bastante num killer é realmente o poder dele, porque isso vai definir se o povo vai usar ele ou não. Então, com certeza, é isso.
This year for the 8th anniversary live stream, I feel like there's just one important character that's missing from that Hall of Fame of killers for Dead by Daylight, and it would be the cherry on top if we can get that character. So fingers crossed we get a big license revealed, and if we're just talking about game stuff, a couple of quick little things, maybe utilization of Unreal 5, I would love to see it in DBD, maybe a crafting mode where we could get a new currency, or even some Prestige 100 rewards would be so cool to be announced this year.
2024年8周年記念配信で一番楽しみにしているのは、やはり今回新たに発表されるであろう今後の新キャラクターです。あと BP アップホイングは何のスイーツなのかなと気になります。
What am I looking forward to the most in this anniversary stream? I just love hanging out with the Fog family, seeing the amazing set decorations and all of the reveals that are here to come. But hey, you know, if you were gonna announce Candyman today, I wouldn't complain. Happy anniversary, everybody.
For our 8th year anniversary, I have no idea what Dead by Daylight is planning. It's always something big and exciting, and I love the events that come along with it. So I'm honestly just so proud that we are going to be celebrating 8 years with Dead by Daylight and going into our 9th year, so I'm excited for anything.
I'm really hoping we can find more information about the casting of Frank Stone. I think this is going to be a really cool and exciting experience with the expansion of the Dead by Daylight lore. Really looking forward to all the upcoming announcements this year for Dead by Daylight. Happy anniversary!
Hello, it's your boy, Mr. Flatface himself. Never mind. Holy Alright. My goodness, dude.
そう、今はジェネプッシュプッシュ。
Elle casse le génie, elle casse le génie. Mais si elle a nulle part où se cacher, elle va me voir. Ça comptera pas si elle a nulle part où se cacher. Elle m'a pas capté. Elle m'a pas capté. Elle m'a pas capté. Elle me capte pas. Elle me capte pas. Elle me voit pas. Oh putain. Oh non, non, je peux pas les gars, c'est beaucoup trop. Non. Non, c'est beaucoup trop. Non, non, non. C'est du grand n'importe quoi. Alors, Tom est un génie. Dead.
Dude, I'm telling you, he did not see that coming. And he's gonna see this coming even less.
This one, you'll just walk past it, honey.
He's out of knives. Oh!
Someone get here right now.
I thought that was gonna be a...
Oh
my god. Please.
Lily!
Elle est si petite. Attendez, je vais là. Oh god. Oh non! Non, Odi! Odi-chan! Odi-chan! Je ne suis pas là! Oh my god, ça fait trop peur! Hein.
Y'all better be careful today, cause I might phase. I might phase at any moment. I might phase at any moment. Shh. Shh. Shh.
He's right there on the hill. He's on the hill. What do we? No. You don't know I'm here. You don't know I'm here. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I'm trying to. I'm trying to. Word.
でもな、ここにフックあって、それあって来るかな。約束の8来るならここら辺じゃない。ここら辺とか来なければ。予想した通りじゃん今の。
Please, Fong, don't step in this only trap on the stairs. Thank God. He was super close. I stepped on the trap in the stairs. I did, bro. I stepped in the trap on the stairs. Oh no. Dude.
Was that a 360 wall flash? Yeah, you want to see something cool? I'll show you something cool. You just wait until I do a 520.
Oh, I found the hatch. Wait. Whoop.
What is the name of the coffee shop that Sable and Michaela worked at? Is it A, Mooncake, B, Moonlights, C, Moonstone, or D, Sunstone?
Quand les jumeaux sont-ils nés? A. Au XVIe siècle. B. Au XVIIe siècle. C. Au XVIIIe siècle. D. Au XIXe siècle.
デッドバイデイライトの周年記念はいつですか？ A、6月14日 B、6月15日 C、6月16日 D、6月17日。
Quantos Blood Points você vai receber caso termine a temporada no Iridescente 1? Você consegue 1 milhão de Blood Points caso você consiga o Iridescent 1 tanto de Survivor quanto de Killer. Então se você conseguir nos dois, no fim da temporada, que é todo dia 13, você consegue no total de 2 milhões de Blood Points.
Hi darlings, it's your girl Die Hard Deep, and I have a question for you, the community. Which of the following offerings grants 107% bonus blood points in all categories to all players? Is it A, Frightful Flan, B, Bloody Party Streamers, C, Survivor Pudding, or D, Terror Misu? Congratulations to the 8 years Dead by Daylight, and I'm so excited to see what happens next. Happy anniversary!
Hi, my name is Gene, and I am a senior game designer.
Hi, this is Pamela, Lead UI designer on DBD.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick, and I am a killer designer on Dead by Daylight.
Hello, it's community manager Dork, and I'm super excited to be looking at your fan art today. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the first one. I'm super excited, so here we go. I love this look of the unknown, especially like the broken gun. So that's like their weapon.
It's like the unknown ate both the deer hunter and the deer at the same time. He was like, okay, well, that works together.
The bones protruding from everywhere is so uncomfortable, and obviously a great way for the unknown.
Oh, Talita and Renato. Yeah, this is just perfect. I love those characters so much. Yeah, in one of the first chapters I work on, so it's great. I like to see them here. This was for the Blood Moon event.
Wait, is this illustration or is this CG? I actually can't tell.
Like, I just like stopping myself because this is amazing.
The trickster in this very like blacklit room. That is so cool. I think it very much goes with some of his cosmetics that give off that kind of neon.
Oh, I see everything from Brazil here. I love it. The reference, the Rio de Janeiro, Renato, Italita. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is like a really cool way of showing like what Michaela looks like booning.
I really love the style in her hair. I think that's very unique.
Oh, Naughty Bear. Oh, it's felt. Oh my God.
I'd be really interested, like, if you do another one, to see like a video of how you did it.
Wow, this skull merchant is really incredible. Like, I wish I could zoom in some more on the mask piece. Looks like there's so much detail in there.
Holy crap, the prop work, and even like the hair's on point.
I have been seeing you on Twitter, and I've just been so excited about your journey of cosplay and making cosmetics. This is so good.
Okay, this, like, comic art, graphic art of Sable and Michaela against the unknown, that is horrifying, but very, very, very cool.
Great composition, really like it. Really makes me think of like American 70s comics, like with the cross-hatching. Very illustrative, very dynamic.
I don't see enough art of the Deathslinger. And this is a really good one. I love the chain.
I really love that they obscured one of the eyes and made one of them glow. I think that's an important detail of the Deathslinger.
This is great lighting.
That is a badass one. I love the details. You even put like the caution tag here, like it's so good.
Okay, this is like really interesting to see like all of the aspects of how you create the cosplay.
This is like fine work. Like this is attention to the max of details. I love this.
And this purple, that's such a pretty purple.
That's gorgeous. I want on my desk.
Oh, the black finish. Okay.
That is an amazing mask.
Oh my god, my little with the Meg hair. Oh, with the Meg hairstyle.
I love having the specific, like pointing out it's a P100 Oni. That's doing the stomping on this full Meg lobby.
Love the spirit. Really love the spirit, and I like the shards coming out there.
The hair going out of frame is really fun. It just keeps like it's going forever.
This is fantastic. This is a really great piece of the artist. Like, I love the use of the colors.
This is the most colorful I've ever seen the artist.
I love how one of the crows is a lot cooler and the other one's a bit warmer.
And I love that she enjoyed companionship with her crows is a really nice idea. It's really cool.
Look at her. She's gorgeous.
All the little details and like with all the little rings going up along the crown.
Such a hard work. I love this. I cannot even think how many hours was this, how many days. It's just really good production.
So this is a really great spirit. I really love how you captured this entire mood.
That's so cool. Like this, I could see this as a poster. I'd love to have this poster, to be honest.
So perfect. It feels like her. Yeah. Oh my, even the necklace. The expression, it's Sable. It's Sable. You are Sable. Yeah.
No way. The dredge?
How did you make this possible? How did you do that?
I'd scream if I saw you. Like I do in every trial.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Who doesn't like this one, right? Look at him.
I honestly would love to see this. I would love to see the unknown, like, in cosmetics of survivors.
I don't know how you guys can make the unknown a cute character, but you just made something possible.
Like, please do a series. I want to see more of these.
Oh, this is one of my favorite Fong Min skins. With the headphones and the blue hair. That's so cool. Oh, I didn't even notice the game was in the background.
I love that people understand that you're never clean in the entity's realm. It's just, yeah, you never have a shower.
Gosh, not going into the woods anytime soon. Trying to stay as far away from this as possible. This came out amazing. It's like a 1-for-1.
Which one is the game right now? I cannot even tell.
This skin for Claudette, I need it. This is so cool.
I love it. Let's go out on this one. I can use this outfit. Let's go.
Oh, that's kind of a cool way to present Sable's invocation perk. Because, like, it's all the different hands that would come to help her do her invocation weaving spiders perk in the basement.
Oh, and the spirit. This feels like a real anime, like a screenshot from an anime. I think that's so awesome.
It's just amazing how you make it. Yeah, I want to watch this. Can we make it? This is great.
The entity is actually an infant compared to the other Eldritch God, and the entity's realm is like a drawing currently attached to a 5th-dimensional refrigerator. It's like, that's actually really good. I really like that idea. It's cool. And again, maybe, who knows? You know, this game is 7-8 years old now. Maybe in 88 years, who knows where it's going to be? You know, everything's possible.
away from you, sir.
Oh man, that is so beautiful. I really like that. No! No! Oh my god!
You're dead.
We are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. That trailer gets me so hyped.
So hype. Oh my goodness. It's so good. And the jump scare at the end is necessary.
Yes. So, hi, everybody around the world and YouTube and Twitch and OpenRec. We're in Japanese. We're in Portuguese. We are in Spanish and, of course, English, because that's what we're capable of. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is DVD's official 8th anniversary celebration.
Yes, and it's truly amazing to already know that we're on our 3rd live stream of the year, with only more to come. And we just have to say thank you on behalf of the entire Dead by Daylight team for 8 amazing years of support from community worldwide.
Yep. So today we are going to be looking at everything that's coming over the coming year. We're going to be starting pretty soon after our little intro here with something that we already teased a few days ago, and that's Dungeons and Dragons coming to Dead by Daylight. So it's going to be a full chapter. We're going to dive into that, and in fact, after the show today, that will be playable on Steam on the PTB.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But this wouldn't be a Dead by Daylight anniversary live stream without a couple of surprises. So you're definitely going to want to stay for the full broadcast to see everything we've got to reveal today. But we've also got a live Q&A. So if you have any questions, please do make sure to drop them in your respective chats so we can answer as many as possible at the end of the stream. But let's go ahead and take a look at what our run of show is for today.
Yep, we've got a great one lined up. We're going to be joined by our buds, Steph and Justin, to walk you through our Year 9, which is a crazy number, Year 9 content and design roadmap. And then after that, Senior Product Manager Derek is going to join us to talk about upcoming gameplay and quality of life improvements coming to the game, including one that you're not going to want to miss.
Yes, and then we'll have Dave and Janik here to reveal everything coming with the latest chapters for Dead by Daylight. Then we're going to have some updates about the other projects we've got in the world of DVD, that being the casting of Frank Stone by Supermassive and an unnamed multiplayer PvE game by Midwinter. Then we'll have Justin, a completely different Justin from the one Eric talked about, coming in to break down this year's in-game shenanigans for the anniversary. And last, we'll have our Q&A, which, once again, drop your questions in the chat so we can answer as many as possible. And who knows, we might have some other little surprises.
And while you're dropping your questions, we thought we would drop some content on you. You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
I just made that up. Twitch drops are back. So if you've watched our streams before, we like to offer Twitch drops to our viewers, and today is no exception. So they're live right now, and you can get them by connecting your Behavior account to your Twitch account. So there should be a QR code you can see. There should be links in the Twitch chat to jump over and get that hooked up if you're not already.
Yes, and if you're new to Twitch drops with Dead by Daylight, all you need to know is that by watching any Dead by Daylight stream in the Twitch directory, you'll be accruing watch time, which will allow you to claim 3 of the Twitch drops we have active today until May 28th. The first one, if you've already been with us since the start of our stream, you're already on your way to claiming, which is going to be the Totem in-game badge. And then after this, if you watch any other Dead by Daylight stream for 4 hours, you'll get the Crimson Hue in-game banner. And then lastly, for 8 years, 8 watching time, you'll be able to get the Greenville, Welcome to Greenville in-game banner.
Yep, so enjoy those drops, but we mentioned surprises, and we've got one to kick the show off with. So the first of which is actually a new game.
Oh my God, what? What the?
We've got a game that we haven't told anybody about yet. It's from the world of Dead by Daylight. We're going to share it with you right now. It features some familiar faces. And most importantly, it is super duper fun. And I think you'll be surprised. So let's take a look.
Well, you've done it now, Dwight. You just had to touch the cursed board game. Now, you and your friend are trapped in our world, and danger is everywhere. But don't despair. Use your new magic abilities against the swarms of monsters that want you dead. Run, jump, and shoot to collect blood points to repair generators, increasing your powers along the way. Unlock the door to escape together. Did you just die? It's not over yet. Use spells to keep your friend alive until they can revive you. Do you and your friend have what it takes to survive? Ponder this as you ask yourselves, what the fog?
Oh my god, that song is so earwormy. It's gonna get stuck in my head.
The game itself is like the guitar solo of video games.
Yeah, like I'm already gonna walk away and just okay. But anyway, yes, you saw that correctly. What the Fog is now available, and it's not only that, but it's free for current behavior account holders and new subscribers. But we do have a limit of free keys, so you're gonna want to make sure that you make your behavior account after the stream, of course, or in another tab. Just don't leave. But go ahead and grab that, claim it on your account, and if you're unable to, then you're able to get it on Steam, which is exclusively on Steam for $4.99 USD.
Yep, and as you might expect with the drops, now a free game, a lot of people watching the stream, there might be some load on our behavior login system, so if there is, bear with us. We will get you in the door, and don't worry, you'll get the game. So as you might have been able to tell from that trailer, What the Fog, which is just the best title, is a two-person co-op roguelite, the simple goal of surviving and escaping with each increasingly difficult level. So to do that, you go head-to-head with swarms of monsters and bosses, and as we mentioned, lots of heavy metal guitar.
Yes. So Eric and I got to play it before launch, and honestly, it was so crazy fun. Like, I had that song stuck in my head for weeks. But you need to make sure that you get your hands on it so that you can have fun, survive, and then get the fog out.
Nice. So that out of the way. See, you weren't expecting that. A lot of people are like, wait, what?
Surprises.
We're going to dive into the show. So we're going to hand things over to Stefan and Justin to talk about Dead by Daylight's Year 9 roadmap.
Thank you for joining us. It's great to be back with you celebrating Dead by Daylight's 8th year anniversary. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, head of production.
And I am Justin Brown, product director. Really excited to be here with you today to talk a little bit about Dead by Daylight's Year 9 roadmap.
I'm going to take a second here at the top of the show to give a big shout out to our absolutely phenomenal team that's working on the game day in, day out. They are the reason we are here with you today and celebrate 8 amazing years of Dead by Daylight. Before going any further, I just want to address something that's probably going to get talked about quite a bit in the chats across the different channels. We know since the last update, there's been a rubber banding issue that's been plaguing the game. The team has been working extremely hard at it over the last few weeks. We have a tentative fix that the team has been working on that we're hoping to test on the PTB later today. If everything is successful with that, we will be deploying that fix to live, and hopefully it should improve the situation. But it's still to be confirmed. So keep an eye on our channels for that. We'll keep you all posted about this. Moving into the future a little bit. The coming year for Dead by Daylight is going to be huge, and that's saying something coming off of our biggest years to date. Since the last anniversary, we have released amazing licensed content such as Alien, Chucky, Alan Wake, and a personal favorite of mine, Nick Cage, such an amazing addition to the game. On top of that, we've also released our most popular original chapter to date, All Things Wicked.
Of course, and we can't forget, we did the Halloween event, which was bigger and better than ever with the introduction of the Void. This year, we introduced the concept of modifiers in Dead by Daylight, starting in February, Lights Out. We followed it with My Little Oni, and soon, later this week, we'll introduce Chaos Shuffle, the third one. We took a few steps towards improving the player experience between anti-face camp, blood web UX improvements, the killer FOV slider, survivor DC bots, and even the search bar. So there's a lot there. And finally, we've taken a few big steps towards increasing our transparency, our communication with regular live streams on each of our content releases thus far.
Enough talking about the past, let's dive into the future and what's really coming up for this year. We're happy to announce today that we have 6 new chapters currently in the works, and 2 of those chapters will be survivor-only chapters for this year. On top of that, we'll have the usual 4 new tomes that are going to be coming out spread throughout the year. As we've talked a little bit and teased even earlier last week, the first chapter that's going to be coming out is Dungeons and Dragons, and we're actually going to deep dive that in a soon-to-come segment shortly after this one, and it really promises to bring great gameplay and new characters to the world of Dead by Daylight.
Of course, we're going to follow that with a licensed survivor, a character who truly embodies the meaning of that word. After that, an iconic killer survivor duel will be coming into the fog, and if you stick around to the end of the show, you're going to get a little preview as to what that will be. We'll finish off 2024 with an original killer and survivor chapter, and we'll finish off the Year 9 roadmap with a licensed killer-only chapter, followed by an original survivor-only.
It's a lot of stuff coming up. Moving a bit away from our content roadmap, we're going to take a closer look at the 4 pillars out of which the year will be based on. For those of you who have been with us for a long time, you'll see that there's consistency throughout the years with the 4 pillars that we're focusing on, but we're really adjusting the contents of each so that we're working on the features that have the most value and the most interest to all of our players in ways where we can expand the game further and further.
Of course, and we're going to start off with the trust and security pillar. Firstly, we're thrilled with the response to our regular broadcasts, and we're really happy to let you know you can fully expect more to come as we progress throughout the year, accompanying all of our major releases. Security is a topic we rarely talk about publicly, for good reason. But one thing I will inform you all of is last year we set out to start tackling this AFK bots problem that we see, especially in some regions of the game. Phase 1 had very promising results, and we're certainly going to be taking that forward another step into Phase 2 in the coming year. Our next 2 pillars, live balance and quality of life, we won't discuss too much. Of course, you can expect regular live balance updates throughout the year and new quality of life, but my friend and colleague Derek will be coming up in the gameplay improvement segment to cover more on that topic, including an announcement on one of the most highly requested features ever in Dead by Daylight.
This one's going to be really, really exciting. Stay tuned for that because that is really something interesting coming up. Last but not least, our 4th pillar, events evolution. Events have always been a fundamental part of the game, especially the seasonal events. And this is something we're going to keep pushing forward over the coming years. With this year, we're starting to do a bit of a split where we're going to have our events happening on a separate matchmaking queue, which essentially means that at any time there's an event ongoing, you can decide to still play normal Dead by Daylight if that's what you're looking for, but you can also go into the event-specific queue and play some of that gameplay. This is really going to allow us to push gameplay further and further away from the typical way Dead by Daylight normally works, and it's going to be a very interesting way for us to approach events in a different way. On top of that, we can also expect more modifiers to make it in the game, whether it's the one we've talked about just before that are going to be revisited throughout the year, or introducing new modifiers that are either tweaks on something or something completely different. But modifiers is just a little sliver of what we're planning to do this year, and I think we have something a little bigger that might be coming up.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm so happy to be here and let you guys know that for the first time ever, this summer, Dead by Daylight will have a new mode, not modifier, but a mode coming to you all. We've been listening and hearing your feedback, and I'm really happy to let you know that this summer, replacing Scorching Barbecue will be the first ever time-limited 2v8 mode in Dead by Daylight. We'll be doing a full breakdown of what this mode is when we get closer to the release. But for now, I'm going to thank my friend Stefan for joining me, invite my friend Matt to the couch to talk a little bit more about this, and here's a snippet of what's to come. Boom. Thank you for joining us, Matt. Well, I know it's still early and everything is subject to change. I think it's going to be really fun to sort of let the community in on some of our plans for this upcoming 2v8 introduction.
Absolutely. Thanks, Justin. So yeah, 2v8 is coming to DBD. This is a new game mode, which is really cool. Other gameplay events that we've done before, so Lights Out, My Little Oni, soon Chaos Shuffle, these are what we're calling modifiers. And modifiers basically take a DBD match, change a few things, but ultimately you're still playing DBD. With this new game mode, 2v8, we're fundamentally changing the way that you play Dead by Daylight. In this particular case, there's 2 killers, 8 survivors, and a bunch of new changes that we're going to get into very shortly. The focus with 2v8, we really wanted to hone in on what's exciting and fun and chaotic with DBD, and we're leaning more into a party mode kind of vibe rather than something that's super competitive. It's also worth mentioning that the way that we're building this, it's an iterative process, right? And this is just the first iteration. So we'll be looking to add more content, more gameplay in the future based on community feedback.
Absolutely, and I'm super excited to see what everybody says about this mode when it comes out. So first, let's break down a few of the key changes that we know are going to be coming for 2v8 this summer. I mean, of course, there's still generators, there's still exit gates, there's just more of them. We've made 5 maps bigger to accommodate all of the action, all of the chaos. And we're also doing away with perks in this mode, instead introducing a new sort of 2v8 exclusive system called classes for survivors.
That's right. Yeah, so when it comes to survivors, basically once you've chosen your character, you can select and equip a player class. And this class is effectively your power for the match, and it helps players identify what your role is within the team. So instead of mixing and matching perks, instead we really wanted to focus on a particular playstyle for this, and whether it's generator repair, healing, looping, speed, that kind of thing, that's what we're really going for with these classes.
Of course, and there's also just cowering in the corner, which is my own preferred playstyle for Survivor. Which is great. And it'll work a little differently for killers. You'll be able to choose from one of the 5 original killers, each with their own specific gameplay. Killers obviously have powers, so they don't have classes in this mode, but we will be introducing a new mechanic, which is a team power. For example, if you are the Wraith, when you cloak yourself, if your teammate is within a certain radius of you, they will also get the undetectable status effect, allowing you to coordinate a sort of team stealth attack. Should make for some entertainment. The reason that we're focusing on the 5 original killers is just to make sure that this is as accessible as possible. They're all free, everybody can play them, everybody can have fun. We want you to enjoy the content and give us your feedback. And in my opinion, the best part of this whole mode is the 2. It's the first time ever that success and failure as a killer does not rely solely on your shoulders. You have a teammate to sort of benefit from, learn from, or even, blame when things go poorly. So working together is just going to make the match so much more fun, so much more efficient.
Absolutely. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that for this mode, we really wanted to keep the action pace and the momentum flowing. During our playtests, we found that the process of downing a survivor, picking them up, carrying them to the hook, it really started to slow things down for this mode in particular. So we're doing away with hooks as well. There's no hooks in 2v8. Instead, once a killer downs a survivor, they'll be able to send them to a cage. This works very similar to Pyramid Head. It will teleport the survivor to another part of the map, away from the killers. And of course, this still counts as hook states. So once you've been hooked 3 times, you'll be out of the match. And as Justin said before, there will be 5 original killers coming to this iteration of this game mode, but we will be looking to add more as we iterate on it and add more to it. Of course, we'll also be improving the game as it goes along, so content will be coming in as well as updates to classes and gameplay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Matt. And to all of you at home, if you want to learn more about 2v8, please join us in our July live stream. We will hope you're looking forward to this year 9. For now, back to you, Eric and Dork.
Oh my god, that robe map.
Great segment. Great beard, Stefan. People were loving the wet beard in chat. But the real story, 2v8.
2v8, yes. I cannot wait to dodge hatchets and chainsaws at the same time.
I can't wait for our killers to finally have friends that they can play with.
Get some friends in the fog. Forge friendships in the fog.
But that was a great segment to watch. I loved the reactions in chat. I think the guys did a really good job of explaining this is the first iteration, and there's going to be a lot of changes based on community feedback. So that's why we're not just flipping the switch and making it permanent all of a sudden. You need to actually get the mode where we want it. But we're using the word mode, which means a lot, so pay attention. And speaking of paying attention, the website, that's a transition that doesn't make any sense. But the website for What the Fog has been overwhelmed by demand, as predicted. People love that cute little game. So we're working on it. Stay tuned. Don't worry. We have lots and lots of keys for it. So just as soon as we're able to tell you it's back up, we'll give you a mention on the stream here or in the chat.
Yeah. We definitely know you guys want to get your hands on it, but what we can do is tell you about something you can get your hands on today.
Yes, and so recently, I think it was December, we released 3 DLC packs. They're called Maddening Darkness, Old Wounds, and Macabre Tales. That was a way for players to get a big bunch of our older content all in 1 or 3 goes. And so we're actually going to be doing that again.
Yeah, so this pack is actually going to pick up exactly where the last one left off, which is going to be the Endless Hunt pack. And in this pack, you're going to get 9 playable characters, starting with Portrait of Murder, Roots of Dread, Forge in the Fog, and Tools of Torment. And along with this pack is going to be all the additional outfits and DLC exclusive items. But of course, if you don't want to get the pack, they will be individually marked down in the in-game store, so you can get them there.
Yes, so that Endless Hunt pack is actually available right now. It is the best way, especially if you're a newer player to Dead by Daylight, to get a big bunch of great content. So that out of the way, we want to keep the train rolling. Next up, we're going to be welcoming Derek, right where you're sitting. He's going to tell us all about gameplay improvements and quality of life improvements coming to Dead by Daylight, including a very big one that people have requested for ages. So let's talk to Derek. Back, everybody, and welcome Derek to our stream for the first time. Derek is from our product management team. He works with the dev team on creating all sorts of cool quality of life updates, gameplay updates, and he's here to tell you about some good ones today. Derek, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Gonna be even better after this segment when we hear what you get to say. So I already know what you've got to say, but I think people are gonna be excited to hear about it. The upcoming challenge system. This isn't something we've told people about. Why don't you tell them about it right now? How is it gonna benefit our players?
So we really wanted to deliver new in-game challenges to players and new ways for them to be constantly rewarded outside of just tomes and archives. So we're going to be introducing a new challenge system, which is a system of challenges, hence the name.
Perfect.
That players are going to be able to complete completely passively. That means that players don't need to actively select the challenge that they want to complete, and they can complete multiple of them at the same time. Initially, we're going to start with daily challenges, weekly challenges, and event challenges. And later on, we want to expand those into other parts of the game as well. We think that this is going to be a great way for players to be constantly rewarded just for logging in and playing DBD. And it's going to be an amazing experience for everybody.
I think that's a really great addition. I think people in the community are going to really appreciate just being rewarded for doing what they already do, not having to go out and seek it, but just it's happening in the background at all times. That's really great. So another great thing that we're adding actually is how we talk to our players. That's the main job of my team, is talking and listening to our players. But we do it out in the world. We do it on social media. We do it on TikTok and Twitter and other places. But in-game is obviously the best place to talk to people, and you've got some updates there.
Yeah, we're here to make the players' lives easier and your life easier as well. So we're going to be introducing a new inbox-based system that will help connect players with the news that you have to announce, including patch notes, announcements, rewards, and a lot more. That way, players will see less pop-ups when they launched into the game, and they'll be able to get into their games quicker. And overall, the players will be able to stay connected with the world of DVD and the news that you have to announce.
Yeah, and it gives us new tools, right? Like being able to tell people the patch notes in detail is something we couldn't do before, and now we can. So again, you don't have to go find it on the web, but you'll be able to get it in the game. Pop-ups, not pop-ups, but notifications for rewards as well is another great improvement. So really good work there by the team. But we're not done. Actually, this is something people are familiar with, the Finisher Mori system. We tested it out a while back in PTB, got a ton of great feedback from the community. The team took that feedback, went back to the shop to tinker with it, and we've got the final version to tell people about now.
Right. I love Finisher Moris. I think they're a really amazing showcase for how deadly and gruesome our killers can be. But we also acknowledge that there was some room for improvement from the survivor's perspective. So like you said, we've taken the feedback, we've reiterated on it, and tried to land on what was the best player experience. So, in a coming update, Finisher Moris are going to become a baseline feature for all killers in the game. That means that killers are going to have access to the killer Finisher Moris by default, but they're only going to be able to use them on the last remaining survivor. That way, if the killer is able to successfully pull it off, we get an exciting conclusion to the match, and the survivors can feel that the game's ended in a fair way, and this match went smoothly, and it was a really exciting experience for everybody. Mori offerings are also going to be updated to instead give bonus blood points, so that it'll be a more rewarding experience for killers if they're able to pull it off.
So the killer's going to want to land that at the end.
Yes.
It happens at the end, like you said, so we're not killing the flow of the match. I think it's a really great balance from where we started and the feedback that we got, so kudos to you and the team. And that's all we've got from you today. Unfortunately, you have to go, but the show is far from over. Next up, we're going to hear about the new chapter coming to Dead by Daylight. So stay tuned, everybody, and thank you, Derek, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I'm already so excited for the challenges and the Finisher Mori.
I just want to shout out Derek for dropping so casually such a highly anticipated feature with cross progression.
Yes, cross progression is finally coming. Super excited. And it's another reason for you to make your behavior account. So not only will you be able to get What the Fog for free, but you'll also be prepping yourself for cross progression, which we know that's something, you're once again going to have to be waiting to get your hands on. But we can now talk about merch, which you can get your hands on right now. So with the merch store, we've got the always popular mystery boxes coming coming back for this anniversary. And obviously, because of the name, I can't tell you what's in the box. Maybe I'll try, But anyway, in the boxes, you're going to see 4 very exclusive DVD items specifically for this release. It's also going to include an art print where some of them are actually signed by our creative director, Dave Richard.
Which is pretty amazing. I had Dave sign my chest backstage. So I won't be sharing that to save you all, but he's got a great signature, one of the best. It's a really cool piece too. If you haven't gotten a mystery box in the past, it's always just a fun unboxing process. So follow the QR code on screen, scan it, and go get it. But we also have an update to the DBD board game.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There is going to be an expansion pack for the Dead by Daylight, the board game. And this is going to be called the Malicious expansion. This comes with 3 new killers, the Artist, the Dredge, and the Knight, and 4 new survivors, Michaela, Jonah, Hattie, and Vittorio. It's also going to come with 2 new maps, which is going to be the Garden of Joy and the Forsaken Boneyard.
That's super exciting, and I'm so happy to see the success of the board game. I'm such a tabletop nerd that it's just such good quality, and I'm glad that people are resonating with it. So shout out to level99games.com, which is where you want to go to pre-order it. You'll get it later this summer. Obviously, the DVD merch shop as well is available. You can open it up on your phone with that QR code. You can go to another tab and get some shiny stuff.
Yes, it'll be really nice, especially like you said in the summer, play it outside, touch some grass at the same time. So other than that, if you have any questions about the content we've been dropping so far, 'cause it's been a lot of content, we will have our live Q&A segment at the end of the stream. So make sure you're dropping your questions into the chat. But other than that, roll initiative, because it's time to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Poor misguided wanderer. First there were many, and now so few. How little you must value your lives to take a single insignificant breath in my sanctum. I'm afraid there will be no quick death for you. No escape from this suffering. I shall draw out your ending as I see fit. For in dark places such as this, keep themselves entertained.
Hello friends, I'm Mathieu Côté, Head of Partnerships for Behavior Digital, and I'm extremely happy to be joined here today by Sean from our friends at Wizard of the Coast, who is going to be with me talking about what we just saw. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Matthew. Great to see you.
Pleasure. We just saw the trailer here. I still have goosebumps. This is so amazing. Like I was saying earlier, I have inner child in me that's thrilled right now. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I'm 10 years old, and it's an absolute dream come true. So thank you so much for being a part of that.
Of course, yeah, my pleasure. I 10-year-old Sean wakes up every day realizing that he works at Wizards of the Coast, dream job. So we're super aligned on that.
So Dungeons and Dragons is probably one of the biggest gateways that people have had to how to craft stories, how to design games, how to create experiences for other people. We've seen it, of course, within the dev team. There's so many people who've got their first taste of designing games through Dungeons and Dragons. Have you seen this to be true with other developers that you've worked with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I always say it's the easiest thing about my job is I never have to teach people what D&D is or what the brand is about, because when I'm working with the developer, I guarantee you the person that I'm talking to has played, and everybody on their team has played, or at the very least is like very aware of what the game is and what it entails. It makes my job very, very easy. You know, I always joke around, D&D is kind of this like the building block or like the connective tissue between game designers. You can be at a gaming convention and you're talking to other developers, and if you have nothing else in common, just start talking about D&D.
It's true. It's kind of a common language. There's so many common references there. For me personally, like I said, it's a dream come true. I still play Dungeons and Dragons every week with my group of friends. I'm the forever DM in that group, and I know that there are a couple of other people on my team who were absolutely thrilled to be a part of this. What made sense for Wizard of the Coast to enter into this collaboration?
That's a great question. I think that exploring horror is always something that's really, really interested us. Dungeons and Dragons has dipped its toes in horror before. You know, we've got modules like Curse of Strahd. We've got a lot of different horror elements we've brought together in some of our monsters. Obviously, characters like Vecna have been super horror driven. So when the idea popped up on our radar, hey, you know, what do you think about working together with Behavior on a Dead by Daylight module? Like the light turned on instantly. I don't think anybody was there were no question marks. It was mostly just exclamation points. It's like, how do we do this the best, right? Like, let's find the coolest character. Let's find the coolest setting. Let's really make this a true sort of celebration of D&D inside of Dead by Daylight and make it a way that feels super native to that game.
Yeah. And you mentioned horror. I mean, I know a lot of people will probably think that their first thought when they think of Dungeons and Dragons is not necessarily horror, but there is quite a lot of potential for horror in there. I mean, it is a very flexible medium to tell stories, and horror stories are some of the stories that will provoke the most intense emotions and reactions in players. So for us, it made sense. Yes.
Yeah, I'm also slightly in the forever dungeon master box that you are. I try to inject a little bit of horror into all the campaigns that I run. I think that it's just a great tool to use to tell stories. If your players never get scared, right, you're probably doing something a little bit wrong. True. And like you mentioned, Dungeons and Dragons is just a really flexible system for telling stories. At the end of the day, the players and the dungeon masters, you're not fighting each other. You're just there telling a collaborative story about what happens. And horror is just a great tool to include in that box of storytelling. It's D&D hasn't always been, hey, we are a horror game, but the tools are there if you want to do it. And I think some of the best storytellers out there definitely implement those tools.
Yeah. There are many examples out there. Now, why Vecna? I mean, we've seen it in the trailer. He is an absolutely terrifying presence. I think that whether you're a survivor or a killer and you play with Vecna in that game, it's going to be a really, really intense experience. So tell me a little bit, why Vecna and why it makes sense?
For me, the main reason that Vecna was very clearly like on the top of the podium the entire time we were discussing potential killers is that Vecna has always had this horror movie monster vibe to him. I mean, as a lich, he's always had the ability to, you can even kill him and he just pops back up and will come back. It might not be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Might be a couple of years in the future, but like Vecna's always going to come back. He just has this real inevitability to him, right? You know, it's, and the thing about D&D is very quickly in a D&D setting, your party becomes a group of powerful adventurers, right? You're defeating all these other monsters that, you know, like dragons and stuff. And then Vecna shows up and you're like, oh, we need to run away. Vecna's here. Like he's such a scary, inevitable threat in the universe that even his earliest appearances were just items with his name on them. And everybody was wondering, oh, who's this guy Vecna that's got this eye and this hand. And it was just like whispers of this ancient evil that was so powerful you couldn't even print a stat block for him because he was just that strong.
Yeah, it's the terrifying presence that few talk about, but if you've heard about him, it's probably already too late. It's true that it's got that absolute flavor, and he has been part of the Dungeons and Dragons universe for almost 50 years now, right? He was there at the very, very beginning, like you said, as whispers, as just a note in there. But he does have a stat block, and reading it is it's not ridiculous, but it's so much power in those pages. Like, you understand that he is, like you said, inevitable, but also he is able to scare a party of level 15 adventurers who are technically almost unstoppable by that point, right?
Right, yeah.
It's kind of fun.
It's always like I've lost quite a few player characters myself to Vecna, and Eve of Ruin. We've got the new book coming out, and as soon as you see Vecna, Eve of Ruin, I was like, oh, looks like I'm gonna lose a couple more.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun. That's writing stories with your friends. So before we let Yannick and Dave take us through the details of how we implemented Vecna with the gameplay mechanics of Dead by Daylight, how we presented them to our players, I'm wondering if you have a message for the hardcore D&D fans out there who may not be familiar with Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I do actually, and it's try this chapter out, even if you don't play it. Like watch somebody stream it, because this chapter, it's a love letter to Dungeons and Dragons from a very passionate and very talented team of developers at Behavior. It was super obvious throughout the entire process that from the sound design work to the animations and the modeling, and I can't stress enough how easy it made the approvals process on our end, that all of this work came in very obviously driven by an incredibly high level of passion for Dungeons and Dragons. If you are a D&D fan, there's really cool Easter eggs in the map. There's really cool Easter eggs all over the place. There's just a ton of love for D&D in this thing. And if you're a fan, there's something in here for you, I promise. Even if you don't think that horror is your thing, give it a try. It's super fun.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Seriously, it means the world to me. Now, I think we'll wrap this up for now. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today in our anniversary. And I hopefully will see you in the fog.
Hey, hi, I'm not Dave. You're not Janik.
I'm not Janik.
No, we're quickly interrupting our D&D segment. There's a lot more. Stay tuned. Dave will be right where I am in just a second to give you an update on cross progression. So this is a live show. We're having a live TV moment as we speak. So apologies, you might have noticed, even though I was dressed the same. Our segment with Derek that was just before was pre-recorded. And in fact, we played the wrong one. So we want to give you more details on cross progression here. So that's what we're going to do. So take it away, Dork.
Yeah, so cross progression is hands down one of the most requested features. Every single stream, every single post. You guys are wanting cross progression, and we're giving it to you later this summer. Players will need to own the base game on any platform that they're playing on and have a behavior account. I'm sure you heard me talking about cross progression with an account, and you're like, what is she talking about? Yeah, so make sure you have that, and you'll be able to use cross progression later this summer. We do understand that the website is currently down because so many people are trying to get to the website and make their account, but we're working on it, and we'll have this to use shortly.
Yep, and just as a clarification, in case we have a few folks in chat that aren't aware, Dead by Daylight, this is cross progression for console and PC Dead by Daylight. We're not talking about Dead by Daylight mobile. It's really its own experience if you've never played it. It's a different beast from the Dead by Daylight core, as we call it internally. Awesome. So along with the Twitch drops and a chance to get What the Fog for free, players now have another reason for their behavior account and another reason to crash our website. So like we said, bear with us. The site will be brought back up and all this will happen. Regarding cross progression, though, any exceptions about in how the system is going to work?
Well, while every platform will have cross progression, there will be a few exceptions to what can be shared between those platforms. But stay tuned. We'll have a full FAQ coming very soon so that you can go ahead and learn more about cross progression for Dead by Daylight.
Yep. And as mentioned, now we're going to pass it to Dave and Janik for some great deep details on our Dungeons and Dragons chapter.
All right. Thank you, Dork, Eric, for this cross-progression information, just to prove that we are live. So we're super excited today to be able to talk about the Dungeon & Dragon chapter. I am Dave, creative director on Dead by Daylight, and I'm joined by my good friend, Yannick.
Hello, Yannick Never, principal game designer on Dead by Daylight. Today I'll be talking about all the intricacy of the gameplay on this chapter. But first, a little mention. Dead by Daylight, 8 years, introducing Dungeon & Dragon. It's a big milestone for us, but we're not the only one hitting a special milestone.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Dungeon & Dragon turns 50 this year. And we are super proud and happy to be part of the celebration. We just want to say that maybe when we turn 50, we do something else with you, Wizard of the Coast. Or maybe sooner.
Yeah, we'll probably be in retired home, but we'll be glad to join the party. So first, Dungeon & Dragon in Dead by Daylight. I have to be honest here. The first time you told me about what's going to be coming next, I was surprised because I'm a big horror fan, but when you think about horror, Dungeon & Dragon is not the first thing that comes to mind. But thinking about it more, I realized, no, wait, there's a lot of horror in Dungeon & Dragon.
Sure.
And Ravenloft being my favorite module.
Choice.
So like you really specifically focus on certain element of the brand. So please tell us about those pillars.
Yeah, so when we start a chapter, we always have a sandbox created so that we stay, around some specific pillars, like you said. Of course, when we think Dungeons & Dragons, the first thing that comes to mind is a magical world, high fantasy, magical creatures, wizards, magic, all sort of things that don't necessarily fit exactly well into a horror setting. But because D&D is a world of imagination where we can create whatever we want, there's also a way to make it happen. So for us, the first pillar was to make sure that we had a good juxtaposition with fantasy, so fully embracing that type of content, but make it horrific as well. And like you've seen in the trailer, having a character like Vecna made perfectly sense for that horror setting. The second pillar is creative role-playing. So in the image of Dungeon & Dragon, we wanted to make sure that players had a lot of agency, a lot of choices. So that goes from an amount of spells you can choose from in the power, which we'll talk about later, or even customization. So a way you can kind of create your own character in some way. We just wanted to make sure that we had a lot of gameplay choices in the DBD trials. And the last pillar we worked with is chaos. So that's actually one of our main pillar in Dead by Daylight. But a lot of what happens in Dungeon & Dragon is based on randomness. You throw a dice, and with critical success, critical fails, and everything in between, you see the result and you adapt to it. So we wanted to recreate that feeling inside the Dead by Daylight trials as well.
Yeah, Dungeon & Dragon is really about exploring a fantasy world, but also be thrilled about what's going to be the monster you're going to meet the next time you open a door.
So let's talk about that killer you'll meet the next time you open the door. So of course, Dungeons & Dragons has a lot of iconic monsters we could have chosen from, a lot of iconic villains as well. And with our friends at Wizard of the Coast, we've established that our next killer would be Vecna. Vecna is just a perfect fit for Dead by Daylight. He's a lich, so a powerful wizard that turned himself into undead to be able to continue his villainy. Is that even a word? I'm not sure. So he wanted to continue to do his horrible stuff for as long as he could. Vecna also has access to every spell in the books. So that was very interesting for us to create an interesting power. Of course, we also have a survivor in the chapter. So the Bard, a very interesting class. There's many classes that we could have chosen from, but the Bard was really the one that fit the most into our horror setting. For example, when we think about a class like the Paladin, you think of the ability to turn the undead, magical sword, big plated armors, and all of this doesn't fit really well into the world of Dead by Daylight. The Bard, with abilities like bardic inspiration, the ability to sing, to play musical instrument, to know lore, and even to insult the villain, is just so on brand that it was a perfect fit. So that's why we chose the Bard. As you've seen in the image and the trailer, we're doing something special with the Survivor. It's akin to what we've done with Legion. So through the cosmetic customization, you'll be able to choose between two specific characters inside the same Survivor. So you'll have the choice between Ice Tree, a female elf, or Beramar, a human male. Yeah.
It's interesting, but when I was younger playing Dungeons & Dragons, like in my friends group, the bard was not really a class that people tend to play.
True.
Compared especially to other class that you had. But throughout times, like there's been many change and iteration on the class, and has now become like such popular class to play. Really fun now, definitely, and has become kind of an emblem to Dungeons & Dragons as much as a red dragon now.
Absolutely. Every party nowadays has a bard. And we've also seen a lot of bard love into other content that Dungeons & Dragons produce, like the movie, for example.
Yeah. So we have an undead wizard. We have a troubadour. Do we have a new map?
Absolutely. We're super proud to have a full chapter for the anniversary. And shocking no one, the map is a dungeon. Absolutely. So in the Borgo realm, we have a new map with a new building. So there is a top part set in the marvelous new lighting of the Borgo realm. And you can find this isolated tower in the middle. You can go inside and go into an extensive dungeon underground, packed with surprises and Easter egg related to Dungeons and Dragons. The goal with this map is that we've imagined that Vecna, knowing about different realms and plane, now trapped into the realm of the entity, would find a place to make his own, his lair, and so that he can study where he is, the world, the entity, and potentially find a way to escape, maybe not. We are also introducing a new gameplay mechanic in this map called Passage. So these are basically doors, magical doors, which you can use to teleport from one area to the map to the next. And we think it's going to add a new interesting spice to chases.
The map, the Easter egg, it's super fun. Like if you're a fan of Dungeons & Dragons, just exploring, you're going to be thrilled to see all the small and the big one. On the gameplay side now for Vecna, so the way we tackle or approach the killer this time, interestingly, it comes from a game, so he has game mechanic that are pre-existent. So we look at all like stats block and try to come up with like the best spell that could be translated into game mechanic for us, and also make sure that these will be like thrilling and exciting to use. But then, so definitely he's a spellcaster, a very powerful one. So the goal was to make him feel as such in our game. But like I was saying, magic, it's something that we have never really tackled, not that way before. Something we've tried to stay away from. Like our powers are really visceral or like grounded as much as possible. It's something that do you want to talk about a bit? Magic?
Yes, please. I hope some of our team colleagues are laughing right now. I kind of have a bad rep internally about magic. It's almost a taboo word that we can't use. But now making a D&D chapter, for sure we had to embrace magic. And of course there is a space for magic in horror games, but it has to be taken with the right tone. So in this case, we're talking necromancy, blood magic, magic of the dead. And there's a touch of realism and visceralness that we wanted to add to magic versus something more flashy like a magic projectile or a fireball, for example. There's also something quite interesting out of Dungeons and Dragons, and these are the utility spells. They're spells that are not used to kill or damage, but they're used in very creative ways. And we wanted to highlight that with the Lich, with Vecna. So that was our approach. Now, do you want to talk to us about the spell that we actually chosen?
Sure. So you have access to 4 different type of spell. Pretty much any time they have their own individual cooldown. But so the first one is called Fly, a very popular, well-known Dungeons and Dragons spell in our game. It lifts up the killer, and you're pushed forward. Obviously faster, so it's really like the traversal aspect of the power. It lasts for a short amount of time, and it's going to also end if you vault a pallet or a vault location. And this is really useful to get closer to Survivor,
right,
and get to the next gen as soon as possible. The next one is called Flight of the Dam, which is it's not really a Dungeons & Dragons spell. It's more connected to Vecna. It's actually an ability that he has. What it does is that it cast five different individual projectile, and then it shoots them in a cone radius effect in front of him. These projectiles pass through obstacles. They don't go very far, but if they hit the survivor, they get damage instantly. It might sound very powerful and easy to use, but it's not the case. Survivor have a lot of counter, but the spell can also be used to zone in this aspect, so you can also go for the basic M1 attack during that time. The third spell is called Dispelling Sphere, which is actually, it's a combination of different existing Dungeons & Dragons spell. We just felt it was more compelling to combine them into one spell. So what it does, you cast a large sphere in front of you, and that sphere moves slowly throughout the level. Survivors do not see that sphere, and if they get in contact with that sphere, they get revealed for a few seconds by Killer Instinct, and also have their magic items disabled for a minute. And the last but not least spell is Mage Hand, very well known Dungeons & Dragons spell. What it does in Dead by Daylight, you, as the killer, you can tag up a nearby pallet. And if the pallet is upward, it blocks the pallet for a few seconds, cannot be interacted by survivor. And if it's downward, it's lifted up for you so you can fully pass without any obstacles. So the idea with this killer, he has a lot of tools and tricks in his bag, and it's really about managing all the force spells, the cooldown, and try to activate them at the right moment. So that's really how you're going to improve as a killer, is learning how to use them at the right time and be efficient with them.
So lots of strategic and tactical choices here.
Correct.
So you've mentioned very quickly during the Dispel Sphere, the magical item.
Did I? Yeah.
What's that?
Okay. So this is the new toy for Survivor. It's called magic items, but keep in mind it's not an actual items that they use. So this time, if you face Vecna, you're gonna have Survivor gonna have 7 different chests that's gonna spawn throughout the level. Survivor go interact with those chests, and while during the opening of the chest, there's gonna be a D20 dice roll. Yes, it's Dungeons & Dragons. We couldn't do without the dice roll. So this dice roll will determine the content of the chest. So if Survivor roll from 2 to 4, they get a basic Dead by Daylight brown item. So
better than nothing.
Yeah, well, maybe that brown medkit might save your life. I don't know. But the fun part is when you roll from 5 to 19, that's when you get the magic items. And the way it works is that each survivor has an equipment slot, 2 equipment slots. They have the bracers and the boots. So there's 2 types of magic items, and each magic item is going to be randomly linked the first time you open the chest to one of the 4 Vecna spells. And so once they are equipped, each time the killer will cast the spell that is linked to one of your magic item, you're going to gain a passive bonus to help out, avoid the spell or help you out against Vecna in general. So to be more precise, so if you have bracers against the fly spell, you're going to see Vecna's aura during the traveling that while you use the spell. If you have a boots, for example, against the Flight of the Damned, you see the aura of the projectile, very useful because the projectile goes through collision, and the best way to use that spell is through walls. If you have magic items against the Dispelling Sphere, survivors see the sphere, so they can juke and go around the sphere as much as they can. And if you have a counter against the Mage Hand, you see the aura of the hand on the palette, and also gain a little aced effect, so that help you out around the loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really important to search those chests.
Yeah, correct. Because the way that we tackled this, the balance in this case, is that we made sure that the magic items do not trunker the killer's power. It's made or balanced to face survivor who have them equipped. So if you don't get those, definitely the killer might feel a bit oppressive. So it's really up to survivor to get to those chests and equip them as soon as possible.
Right. And just to be clear, you can also equip a normal item with that. So you can have your flashlight, bracer, and boots.
Correct. It's a very different slot.
So everybody heard you talk about a lot of numbers here on the dice, but you've not mentioned the critical fail, 1, and critical success on the 20. For people that don't play D&D, these are like events, the best event that can happen in Dungeons & Dragons when you get that critical fail or that critical success. So what happens in Dead by Daylight when that happens?
Yes, so we have critical role in the game. If you roll a 1, you get, a big nothing. Although I've heard sometimes people get a green key. I guess
that's
lucky
better, yeah.
But I know what you get if you roll a 20. So anyone who's familiar with Vecna in the lore of Dungeons & Dragons, there are 2 very specific artifacts that exist that is called the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna, and we introduce them in our game. So you roll a 20, you get one of the 2. You never know. But these works more like a normal item, so you have to pick them up and use them once. It's called attune, so you merge with the items, and then you unlock a very powerful ability up to like perk level. Yes, it's very strong. I guess you want to know.
But please do say.
Okay, sure. So if you attune with the Eye of Vecna, they use with lockers. So if you fast exit a locker, you're going to be unseen, unheard by the killer for 15 seconds. And on top of that, you gain a haste boost effect. And if you attune with the Hand of Vecna, you fast enter a locker and you're going to be teleported further down, further locker.
Wow.
So very powerful. I forgot a little details because they might sound super strong, said like that, but they come with a cost. So to use them, you have to be full health. And once you use them, you instantly lose a health state. And also at the end of the effect, you get revealed by counter instinct. So be very mindful the way you use them because we've seen a lot of situations where it backfire at the survivor. And the killer has definitely a spell to help him out, get back at the survivor, and get the down.
So it's very on brand with what a cursed item should be.
Indeed.
So thank you so much, Yannick. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff coming with Vecna, and we had no time today to talk about anything more about the killer perks or the survivor, but I have to say very quickly that the survivor perk will allow you to create illusions, to perform on the loot. You can even perform with other survivors to do the full melody. There's also a dice roll mechanic for one of the perk. So if you want more information after the show, you can go on our website, deadbydaylight.com, and get all of the details you need. Merci encore, Yannick, for all the information. And thank you so much to all of you. Happy anniversary. And I'll be passing it back to Eric and Dork.
Oh my god, Dungeons & Dragons and Dead by Daylight.
You are a pretty frequent DM yourself, right?
Yes, I do DM on occasion. Forever player, as they said in the interview. Well, no, forever DM.
Yeah.
Never a player. Please make me a player.
You must be so psyched.
So psyched. I'm so psyched. I'm so excited. I just cannot wait to see what we have in store and to go against Vecna.
Hopefully people have noticed your dice necklace.
My nice D4, I got. Okay. But yes, just like Dave said, don't forget to head over to deadbydaylight.com right after the show for the full breakdown on Vecna and all of his powers. You'll also be able to see the perks that we've got for him and our bard coming into the fog.
And also, don't forget to ask questions in the chat when you're not spamming nonsense garbage. Ask real questions, and we'll answer them later in the Q&A. You don't need to say claim. Please stop saying claim. You're not claiming anything by saying claim. Stop.
But we appreciate your enthusiasm. But next, we're going to be, I'm going to be joined by Dave Richard back on the couch for him to walk us through the ever-expanding world of Dead by Daylight. Hey, I'm over here now. So I'm super excited for this part of the stream because not only do we get to talk about 2 upcoming projects within the world of Dead by Daylight, that being Supermassive's The Casting of Frank Stone, and an unnamed multiplayer PvE game by Midwinter, but we get to do it all with Dave Rashad. So, Dave, can you please tell me why we chose these games to be the right games for us to expand the world of Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff going into that choice for sure. So first of all, we are super happy and grateful to have a community already there playing Dead by Daylight. So of course we listen to what they want to see, what they want to play. So that comes into the recipe of the choice we're going to make. We also want to make sure that we will create something new to experience, something that's completely out of what we are used to in Dead by Daylight. So that comes into the genre we want to create. Also, we want to interest new players into the world of Dead by Daylight. Some people that never heard of Dead by Daylight, but also some viewers that are interested about the world of DBD, but that don't play DBD because maybe it's not their style of game. So we want also these players to be with us and experience the world of Dead by Daylight.
And just like you were saying, with people being interested in the world of Dead by Daylight, as the creative director, why do you think there's so much interest in the lore of a multiplayer game that's based in action?
Well, it's been very important for us since day one when we started working on this project. The story and the narrative around everything we create. We want to make sure that every little component in DBD has a story and a reason to live in the universe. We take great care into making that happen. So, there's a lot of mysteries within mysteries, a lot of layers to our narrative, which I think are super interesting and players want to know more. So these games will allow us to discover these elements that we've seeded in the past. Like every killer and every survivor in Dead by Daylight could have their own movie or their own game, really.
Yeah, they've got so much lore. It's really amazing to just dive into. And speaking of lore, I mean, this is something we want to expand on with the world of Dead by Daylight. So we're doing that in one of our upcoming games, The Casting of Frank Stone. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Right. I can tell you a little bit. Yes. So, of course, there's different type of stories in games, right? There's games that have a static narrative that you experience. That's great. There's also games that the narrative is made very organically by the players, like DBD is a good example of that. The Casting of Frank Stone is somewhere in between, right? It's a game where there is multiple narrative, and based on the player choice, different things will happen, and based on their choice, different endings and different branching in the story will happen. So the Casting of Frank Stone is very interesting for us because it brings the origin of a killer and potentially survivors, and the players are able to play that for the first time. Some things that we are used to see as a lore or a bio or a tome entry in DBD now will be playable. It's still in the Entities universe. It's still very much part of the world of DBD, but it's going to be out of the trials. So that's going to be an interesting take on our universe.
Okay, so we know that the Casting Frank Stone is still in that realm, but what about our other project, this unnamed multiplayer PvE game? Is that also going to be taking place in the Entities realm?
Absolutely. So it is in the world of DBD. It is in the Entity. And one cool thing about the Entity is that we know very little about exactly what it is, but we do know that it's a living universe. It is huge, and we can't really comprehend everything that's happening within it. So we know that DBD trials are a way for the Entity to feed. It's a very kind of organic process. So we can imagine that there are other parts in the Entity that serves other purposes. And that is exactly what we want to explore. So that allows us to create new narrative, new ways to experience a game, new gameplay opportunity, new set of rules. So these are things that we talked about in the past and that we always wanted to explore. So that's exactly what we want to do with this new Untitled game. So in a way, the world of DBD that we've created is like a book with infinite pages. we can add new stories to it forever, hopefully.
Just keep on reading.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you did talk about that, and like, is there any gameplay that we'll be able to see?
That we'll be able to see. Well, yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave, for talking us through that. But now I want to see the gameplay. Let's see the gameplay.
Go.
Hey everyone, I'm Audrey, lead producer at Midwinter Entertainment. Last year, we gave you a very small glimpse of a project we started working on set in the Dead by Daylight universe. I'm happy to say that we have more to share with you on this game codenamed Project T. Instead of showing you a close to final game with some polished gameplay, we wanted to let you in on the development process. Right now, Project T is a work in progress, more than a fully fledged game. Our goal is to craft an experience with all of you and create something that you would be eager to play. Let's hear more about Project T with our creative director.
Hey everyone. First, I want to say what an honor it is to be working in the Dead by Daylight universe. We love DBD's multiplayer thrills, and its dark, mature setting brings just the right kind of tension and danger for a game like this. In Project T, you play as trespassers, rough and tumble characters who have been whisked away from their realities and trapped within the entity's realm. There, in a vast region called the Backwater, they discover they must work together if they're to have any chance of survival. And of course, they're not alone. The Backwater is home to horrific monstrosities known as the Thrall. These terrors come in many forms and have different deadly abilities. Their origins and nature are unclear, but they certainly don't take kindly to trespassers within their domain. To achieve your objectives, you'll have to battle the Thrall with every weapon at your disposal.
The world of Project T is called the Backwater. It's a unique place, another twisted realm within the entity's grasp. You'll be eager to explore this familiar yet ominous world, and it'll definitely give you the creeps. To add even more tension to your experience, we're building the Backwater as an ever-changing landscape, which offers a lot of possibilities gameplay-wise. To navigate the Backwater, we're thinking of adding trucks in the game. Since it's a pretty big area, you would need a way to go from one point to another while escaping the hordes of Thrall. But there could be other uses for the truck. That's something we're thinking about, and we'd love to see what kind of ideas you might have. As DBD fans, we're having a lot of fun creating this new experience as part of the Dead by Daylight universe. DBD is all about horror, and we want to make sure we're crafting something that horror fans will appreciate, from the different biomes of the Backwater to the look of the Thrall.
Project T is still in early development, but that doesn't mean you'll have to wait another year to get more news. We're looking to get your opinions and share information, so we're creating a platform called the Insider Program. This is a place where all the players excited about this new take on the DBD universe can gather and be active participants in the development of the project. As an insider, you'll not only get exclusive information, but also in-game rewards and even the chance to join our closed playtests and give us your feedback. Join us to help shape an experience you'd like to play and make Project T the best that it can be. See you soon.
Cedar Hills is not exactly a noted hotbed of criminal activity.
What is that?
That's not entirely true. There was that whole serial killer thing.
Why do you hate Cedar Hills so much? You used to be like town mascot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present The Mill.
Spend enough time in my line of work, you realize every place has got its demons.
Think that belongs to the boy you're looking for?
You can't shoot a movie in here. This is a condemned steel mill, Mr. Rivera. I suggest you immediately vacate the premises. And you do not, under any circumstances, set 1 foot back here in the Cedar Steel Mill. Ever.
Such a joy to see young people so passionate about the arts. Everything's all right.
Either of you heard of murder mail?
No!
There was a whole string of disappearances. Kidnappings, really. Murders. So what was this guy's name?
I don't think the police ever found this place.
Fuck! Whoever did this might still be here. We can't stay, okay? We gotta go.
And cut! When you make dangerous cinnamon, you walk a dangerous line.
Oh my god, that was such a cool trailer.
Right? Some chills there.
Did I see
Frank
a hunting
Stone.
mask?
Bringing,
God.
bringing it. Murder Mill? Does that
Murder
seems
Mill?
familiar? Fans might know that one. Super cool. It's so cool to see the way that the DBD universe is expanding.
Oh, yeah.
I want to mention Project T. You saw a mention of the Insider program. So that's our team is there waiting for you on Discord. So you can join the Insider program to get up-to-date information on Project T and get involved in it and be part of the game's development. It's really the idea there is we're making the game with the community. So get in on the ground floor now.
Yes. With Project T, like Eric said, we are taking this idea to a whole new level with making the game with you instead of just making it by ourselves. So if you love Dead by Daylight and you want to help with this new session-based multiplayer PvE game and bring it to life, sign up for the Insider program so that you can be in the know and get next steps. You also want to make sure you wishlist it on Steam because that really helps us.
Yes. And so Project T is quite a ways off because, like I said, we actually want to make it with our players. But the casting of Frank Stone is right on the horizon. So Supermassive, as hopefully folks know in the chat, they're just an amazing developer of single-player narrative horror games. And now we're bringing Dead by Daylight into that genre. And it's just so cool to finally be there. And it looks super terrifying. It looks super, super crisp and polished and awesome. I can't wait. So as you mentioned, wish lists do help a lot. So if you would do us a kindness, kindly give us a wish list. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, and speaking of Dead by Daylight, the PTB, I know a lot of you are itching to get into that. That will be at 1 p.m. as a reminder today instead of 12 p.m. So be ready to download that so you can go ahead and hop in and test out the new chapter.
I can't wait to see people's reactions to all the things that are
Oh,
in this
yeah.
chapter.
I cannot wait, especially for the locker one. I'm so excited for that one. But as we said, this is, we're getting pretty close to our live segment where it's going to be the live Q&A. So we'll have Justin, different Justin from Eric's Justin, come out to talk about this year's Twisted Masquerade in-game anniversary event.
Back again. This time I'm joined by Justin Banks, our senior product manager. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be back.
Yes, welcome back to the anniversary show. And what would an anniversary be without the Twisted Masquerade, right? So the Twisted Masquerade is back. It happens every year during our anniversary in-game, and Justin's here to talk about it. So what have you cooked up this year?
So this year, we got some amazing stuff. Honestly, I think it's our best anniversary event yet. But before we get to it, we have what we call Before the Masquerade. So that is going to be something that actually starts right after this stream. So for everyone who's watching, once this is over, go play. And we've got lots of really cool stuff as a big thank you to all of the players. It's really stuff from all of DBD's history, and it includes a lot of presents.
I love presents. I know you love presents. Our community probably loves presents too.
I think
Details?
So the details about said presents. We've got lots of login rewards, so lots of currencies for players to earn just by logging in whichever day throughout all of this. We've also got 2 recolored outfits, one for Meg and one for the Huntress, that players can earn through each week. So each week you'll be able to earn a different piece of this, so if you log in just once each of these initial 3 weeks, you'll get the full outfits, which I think is a really cool way to get your hands on some cool outfits. Now, each of these initial 3 weeks is going to focus on a different period of DBD's history, so a different collection of years. What that means is that we're going to have map boosts and outfit sales of character outfits that were released during those years. So we really want to take you through this history with us. We want to celebrate the history of DBD.
That's really cool.
Then the cool stuff that I think everyone's really going to dig is we have some currency boosts, a different one for each week during Before the Masquerade. So for the first week, we have a blood feast, so 3 times the blood points. During week 2, we are going to have 3 times the rift fragments. So if you want to progress towards the rift, this is a very good chance to do it. Then during week 3, we've got 3 times the XP. So again, if you want to progress to the rift, this is also good, but this is a really good chance to earn some iridescent shards.
Damn. And then after D&D releases, the last week and a half we'll be doing double XP and double blood points, right?
Oh, we're doubling down, yeah.
So everyone can play the new chapter. They can get hyped for the Masquerade. They can nab some of the older anniversary charms as well. Is that true?
Exactly. So we want to give people a chance who haven't earned them during previous years, to celebrate the build-up to the event itself by earning, like some really cool Masquerade crows or things like that.
Awesome. Okay, so what about the event itself?
So the event itself, now that we've tackled Before the Masquerade, the big new thing that is coming for this year's Twisted Masquerade is the reveal of the host of the Masquerade, Trix herself. So players might have seen her hinted at during previous anniversary events or during in outfit descriptions referenced as the Mad Designer or Zizzletrix. So she's finally making her appearance. And throughout all of the event, we want to make it very clear, this is her party. She's everywhere. She's the entity's biggest fan, celebrating, holding this party in its honor. And she's not a playable character, so we want to make that very clear. She is there pushing everybody to engage and celebrate.
I love that. So does this mean we're going to see a lot more of her in the Twisted Masquerade?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of the UI that is themed. You might have seen some last year, so we've done a lot of updating for that. We've got Father Campbell's Chapel coming back with the whole party taking place inside. Some updated content in there to show that the party is progressing or dying slightly. Might find some corpses. Then, in addition to all that stuff really permeating the game, we've got the lobby, the loading screens. She's going to appear in trials. You will hear her laughing at you or cheering you on around the exit gates. There's really voice lines that's going to appear everywhere, really accentuating the gameplay. It's going to be amazing. We loved hearing all of the voice lines that we have had recorded for this. With all that stuff, we've got a lot of really cool gameplay that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But one thing I wanted to mention is that all of our event gameplay now is going to take place within a separate event queue. So if you want some of the normal DBD, in the core mode, you can have that. But if you want the event stuff, go over to the really cool event queue and take part of Trix's, Twisted Masquerade. And I have to say as well, if you go to the core mode, it's still going to have a lot of the decorations. So you get the vibe with the core experience.
And that's a really good quality of life improvement over last year, right? Giving players that option to choose, if they want to just do classic Dead by Daylight, they can with some extra flair on it, or they can choose the event queue. That's a nice improvement. So you mentioned it. So what are some of the gameplay changes that are coming with Trix?
So Trix is bringing what we call her bag of tricks to the party. She wants to spice things up. She wants everyone to have a lot of fun. So what we've got is that as a match progresses, one of a series of abilities, one of a tricks, is going to be played on our players. And these are going to be things like giving everybody haste, giving people undetectable, spawning anniversary special chests or totems, some really cool stuff that's going to spice it up. And this is going to happen whenever 2 points are accumulated during a match. So at first I'd say 1 tricks actually takes place at the match start. Following that, whenever 2 points are accumulated from doing a gen, first hook, things like that, which each gives 1 point. That is then going to trigger another tricks to maximum of 5 during a match. So we want to really keep things interesting. And when a tricks is actually activated, you're going to see Trix herself appear alongside or take the spot of one of the dancing marionettes. She's going to even deliver a line that hints at what has been played. So if you're not paying attention, she's going to give you this really cool audio cue.
That's awesome. And so in addition to all of that, I think we're also doing some sort of update for the invitation mechanic.
Yeah, absolutely. So the invitations last year, we had players run around, gather those, and you could either spend it to use an ability while inside a chase, or escape with it to help you earn a mask. This year, there's no need to escape with it to earn a mask. That's a different thing. And we've even added outside of chase abilities to the invitation. So if you're someone who doesn't necessarily want to always be chased by a killer or wants to have a more diverse use for it, we've added that. So survivors can now go into quiet mode, so making a lot less noise, and can even do things like quickly enter a locker without alerting the killer. It's super useful to get out of that chase right away.
That's fantastic.
Or if they're nearby and you don't want to alert them. For killers, they can now use an invitation to immediately send a downed survivor to a nearby hook. And as I can say from playtests, it's really fun.
I think the community is going to love that. Can't wait for them to play, but also I think there's challenges we've added so you can earn masks, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this year, earning all of the masks is going to be related to engaging with event challenges and earning event currency. So all of them are going to be earned like this. That's going to be how you earn most of the rewards. And past masks and outfits that were earnable or in the store last year are also coming back. So if someone was not able to get those during previous years, those are all now going to be available inside the store for the duration of the event. And I have to say that we have also a licensed guest showing a mask this year, a Mr. Detective Tap.
Amazing. Amazing. That's so cool.
Look at those masks. Those are fantastic.
There they are. Heck yes. Fantastic. Good Lord. So it wouldn't be a party without lots of rewards. What can you tell us about the event tome?
So we've got a few staples that are coming back that we've done and seen huge success with in the past for the event tome. One is the community challenges. So we know people love to play together towards earning things, so we've got a lot of those. So if people engage with the event, work towards those targets, hit their own milestones, I think they're going to earn some really pretty cool stuff. Also in the event tome is some really interesting lore about the observer discovering Trix's world. So if you want to know a little bit more about her, play those challenges, earn that lore. Then we've got some really cool stuff. I have to say the Twisted Masquerade is one of our favorite collections to work on every single year. As soon as the art team's concepts hit the table, or I guess the monitor screen these days, we're like enamored with them. Like, we love working on this collection. So this year we've got 2 new 100% earnable outfits that you can earn through the event. We have one for Bill Overbeck, another licensed guest making his appearance in the Masquerade, and one for the Unknown, who is maybe trying to blend in a little bit at the party.
Successfully.
In addition to all of that really cool stuff, we've got some Tricks-themed charms and player cards that people can earn. Now, obviously with Tap's mask making an appearance as a reward, there's someone who accompanies him. So if people check out the in-game store during the Twisted Masquerade, they'll be able to find a really cool event-themed outfit for the pig.
Yeah,
now,
there
we
it
are
is.
Huge fans of this. I mean, it's got so many touches from the Saw franchise in there. I think it's amazing.
Pig fans were on the edge of their seats hoping you'd say that. Amazing. So we've covered a lot. Are there any last presents for the players that we haven't mentioned?
So there's a lot already, but we've got more. So the same as previous years, we're giving out lots of daily rewards to players. So there's going to be lots of currencies, like more blood points, more rift fragments, more iridescent shards. We're going to have a huge login calendar throughout the entire event. People are going to be earning stuff no matter what they do. And for the first time, that no matter when the player logs in, we're going to give them enough event currency to get a single reward from the event.
Nice.
So as soon as you log in, we want to get you started and start enjoying the party.
I love that. Players are going to love that. Thank you, Justin, for your time and all that detail. So much detail. I hope people are psyched. Just as a note, the event in-game starts June 13th, but the Before the Masquerade event actually starts now, right after this show, today. And there is one last thing that we have not mentioned. It's all part of this wrapper of celebration, and it actually ties back to Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, does it?
Yes. So very, very excited to say that we will be putting some Dungeons & Dragons Dead by Daylight dice, that's a lot of Ds,
a lot,
up for sale in the merch store. You can pre-order it right now. It's not available. You can't get it right away, but you can get your pre-order in right away. And in fact, if you do the pre-order in the next 48 hours, you get a discount. Super psyched about this. There's tons of Dungeons & Dragons fans within the office. I'm sure there are in the community as well. So why not put them together with a cool new set of dice? And that is all we have. Unfortunately, Justin, you're done. Thank you for your time.
I was honestly always happy to be here.
So we're going to toss it now to Dork for our live Q&A, and we'll bring it home. Take it away, Dork.
All right, well, I've been like teleporting all around today. Now I'm over here. So we've covered so much content today. We've been talking about gameplay updates to Dead by Daylight, the 2v8 mode, the new titles, the Dungeons & Dragons chapter, and obviously with all of this content comes loads of questions, which we will be taking the time to answer for you. I say we because it's me, Dave Richard, and Justin Brown. So let's go ahead and get started. So for Dave, question 1. In the Dungeons & Dragons segment, you mentioned 2 bards and 1. What does that mean? Are we getting 2 unique survivors?
No. So there is 1 survivor, same perks, but there is a different customization system around this character. So it's similar to what we've done with the Legion. So instead of having like normal head, torso, legs parts, for the bard we have head and torso in one piece, the legs in another piece, and the accessories. And so changing the head torso piece, you can modify which character you want to be.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so question 2, how big of an impact will the Project T Insider program actually have on the finished game? I'll actually go ahead and take this one. We really want this project to meet player expectations at launch, so we want to make an open dev route, and this will allow us to proactively check in with you, our community, and fine-tune the game as we go. We'll be actioning insider feedback the whole time we're building the game, as your input and your insight will be highly considered throughout the entire process. So thank you. Question 3 for Dave. Will we see any existing Dead by Daylight characters in the casting of Frank Stone?
Ooh, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I can say that the game features a new cast of character. They're original. It's an all-new story, but there are a ton of little things here and there to discover linking to Dead by Daylight for the fans.
Okay, thank you. Now you got a little treat. All right, our next question, question 4 for Justin. In 2v8, you said that there will be classes for survivors, but not exactly for killers. What does this mean, and will more killers be added in the future?
All right, I'll start with the easy one. Yes, of course, there will be new killers added. Each iteration we do after this first one, we strive to add a few more killers as we move forward. As far as classes go, it's something that we're still really waiting for. There's a possibility we do something like a class system, but we're going to wait until we get this iteration into your hands and work with your feedback and see where we take this mode.
All right, thank you, Justin. Question 5. What is the difference between a game mode and a modifier for Justin?
Okay, it's just like what Matt said. A modifier is really something that takes a little piece of a standard trial and sort of adjusts it, like a darkness effect, maybe changing how fast or how many generators there are to do, or random perks. A mode is something that's going to fundamentally change the way the game's played, something really big and all-encompassing, something like 2v8.
All right, thank you. Again, Justin, I got a question for you. Question 6, can I duo killer with my friends in 2v8?
Absolutely. You can queue up with your friend. You can get on Discord and talk to them and play killer together.
Okay, so I'm super excited for that. That's going to be amazing. All right, our next question. Can we play 2 of the same killers in 2v8, Justin?
No. The easy answer is no, you won't be able to play 2 of the same. You'll be able to mix and match between the 5, but 2 of the same killer will not be available.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine hearing both chainsaws revving? Like, oh, gosh. Overload. All right, question 8. I didn't get my blood points from grade reset yesterday. Will I get them back? I'll go ahead and answer this one. Yes, we're working on refunding the missing blood points to players, and you should receive them within the next few days. Really sorry about that. Question 9, can achievements and trophies be earned in the 2v8 mode when it releases, Justin?
The simple answer is yes. There are no specific 2v8 achievements or trophies, but if you're making progress towards one that already exists, like how many generators you have to repair, progress is still made towards those trophies.
All right, thank you. Question 10. Are there plans to keep 2v8 permanent after some iterations, Justin?
So this is something we're still working out. But I can tell you for sure in year 9, it will not be permanent at any point. It's going to be an ongoing discussion. It's going to depend sort of the engagement level, the feedback we get from you, and when we feel the mode is fully ready before we continue those conversations.
Mm-hmm. So when the mode is active, make sure you are playing it, okay? Do this for us. So other than that, what is What the Fog couch co-op or online co-op only? I'll answer this one as well. What the Fog is online co-op only, available as soon as we find a fix for the website. Really sorry about that, but thank you so much for trying to claim the game right now. All right, question 12 for you, Dave. Is Matt Mercer voicing Vecna?
Good catch. He is. We're super excited to have Matt Mercer bring Vecna to life in the trailer, in game.
It's awesome, especially having one of the kings of Dungeons and Dragons coming and voicing Vecna. What a treat.
Absolutely.
But we don't have any other questions. Thank you all so much for submitting your questions, no matter where you are watching from. And thank you so much, Dave and Justin. Regarding cross progression, just going to fill this in really quickly. We also want to reiterate that we can't share specific plans just yet, as we are still finalizing the last details, but rest assured that as soon as we are clear to do so, we will, and we plan to also push out a public FAQ. So once the FAQ is posted, we'll announce it across all of our channels for your full awareness. Once again, a big thanks to everyone who submitted questions, and we hope these answers were helpful, and we'll be talking more about this stuff in the next coming months. As a last gift for our players, if you're already signed up for the Dead by Daylight newsletter, you'll receive 250k blood points. And if you are not, you can still register until May 15th to get that sweet, sweet reward. And another big thanks once again to Justin and Dave for sticking around to answer all of these amazing questions. And since this is almost the end of our show, we don't want to forget that the PTB goes live in 22 minutes. So now we're going to have Eric and Matt here on the couch one more time to wrap up the show with one final surprise.
All right, this is it. This is the end. We've made it to the end of the show. It's been a great show. It's been a long show, and we thank you for sticking with us. We had so much to tell you about, so we had to do it all. But thank you so much. And look who's here to join me on the couch over there, Mr. Matt Cote. Matt, welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Well, nice of you to make it at the end.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I
eventually got here.
Yeah. Well, I was a little late. Had some surprises to work on. It's always something.
That's true. But I think all the surprises are wrapped up for now. Thank you again. Hopefully you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams. We're going to keep these rolling. Maybe you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams.
I'd be delighted.
It'd be fantastic. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful... Yes?
I just want to say before we leave, so the people who have been with us until the very, very end, we have one last surprise for you. We like to close the show with a surprise. It's a bit of a tradition nowadays. So this summer, we are going to be welcoming yet another legendary set of characters into the fog.
Dumb and Dumber?
I don't think we're supposed to say that. Featured in over 30 games, an animated series, an absolutely unforgettable soundtrack, and much, much more. We hope you are as excited as we are to welcome into the fog this classic franchise.